YouTube. Today I thought we should do something a little bit different, both setup-wise, as you can see, and maybe content-wise as well. Today I thought it would be interesting to talk about fan-made dark Winx transformations. Why are they so popular, where they originated from, and why they are still being made today. Dark fan-made Winx transformations are incredibly popular in the Winx fandom and have been for years. There are fan-made transformation versions of Enchantix, of the regular Winx transformations, and I'm pretty sure of all the other transformations pretty much as well. It's an incredibly popular genre of Winx Club fan-made videos that are pretty unique to the Winx Club fandom itself. As to where the trend came from, to anyone who is a long-time Winx Club fan, this question can be answered relatively easily. In 2005, season 2 of Winx Club aired, and it featured an incredibly dark storyline in more than the literal way, where Bloom turns dark. Honestly, I recently started rewatching Winx Club with a friend of mine, and we started from season 1 and got to pretty much the end of season 2 so far. And as an adult, the Dark Bloom arc feels even darker. It's actually really messed up. Bloom gets a dark version. Bloom sort of turns dark, and with it she gets a dark version of her classical transformation. It's basically her classical Magic Winx outfit, but in much darker tones, and her wings are different as well. Yeah, you can sort of see it behind me now. So it's basically a version of her normal Winx transformation, but her eyes are yellow, her crown is a lot pointier, her wings look a bit more gothic, and her blouse and her skirt are dark. And this is where in the fandom all the dark transformations originate from this canonical arc in the series. Now, I think one of the reasons why these dark transformations were originally made is because Bloom doesn't actually get a transformation in this arc. Transformations are an incredibly integral part of Magical Girl animations. Most Magical Girl animations have transformations. And while the reason they usually have lots of transformations is to cut down on the new animation that you have to do on each episode, because you can reuse the transformation animations are actually loved a lot as well. And Rainbow doesn't often do transformations for characters who aren't the Winx. I think the only exceptions for this are Roxy and Diaspro. Diaspro, for some reason, gets her own transformation, even though none of the other fairies do, which is cool, and I honestly wish there were more transformations of other fairies in Althea. And actually, Bloom doesn't get a transformation sequence either. We see her turn dark, like she gets there are a few instances in which she turns dark, and in one of them she sort of closes her eyes, and when she opens them, her irises are a different golden color, signifying that something dark and nefarious is going on. And when she actually changes her outfits, it's sort of a bam movement, and you don't get a transformation sequence. It's coolly animated, but she doesn't get a transformation sequence. Oh, by the way, speaking of other characters who aren't Winx getting transformations, the Tricks also get a sort of transformation in season 2, but it only happens once, and then they stay transformed in their sort of Gloomix accessories, but Bloom never actually gets a transformation. So I think one of the reasons fans started doing these magical girl dark transformations is the reason that it was something that the series never did. And it was something that we would have liked to see as Winx Club fans, I think. Season 2 aired in 2005, and I would say that fan-made dark transformation trend started right about after that. I made my YouTube channel in 2007, my first YouTube channel called Winx Helena. And even before that, I remember watching fan-made dark transformations made on YouTube. I also wanted to point out that fan-made Winx Club transformations are incredibly popular in the fandom in general, and this doesn't just apply to dark Winx transformations. People make fan transformations of their own transformations, or fan transformations of other fairies who never get their own transformation. So this is a popular genre in general, and there aren't only these Dark Winx fan-made animations, but these are popular enough that I thought that we could talk about them. So Dark fan-made Winx transformations originated from that one arc in season 2, but season 2 aired in 2005, nearly 20 years ago, and the fan-made Dark transformations are still being made today. Not only are they still being made today, they are still incredibly popular. One of the reasons why I started making this video is because I was recommended a Winx Club YouTube video by Elementic Studios that they just made like 11 days ago, and it already has 89,000 views. So not only are these videos still being made, they are still incredibly popular, and they have been incredibly popular throughout the fandom. Their popularity has never really waned. I would maybe say that they used to be a little bit more popular, but come on, like nearly 90,000 views in 2 weeks, in less than 2 weeks, that's nothing to scoff at, in my opinion. I actually have my own connection with these Stark fan-made transformations, which is another reason why I actually wanted to make this video. You see, one of my first YouTube friends, actually my first YouTube friend period, was Valentine Winx. And I remember watching her videos even before I had a YouTube channel myself. And one of her most popular videos was her Dark Enchanting Stella video. This video she made 16 years ago, and it has over 5 million views. And it was incredibly popular back then. So yeah, these Dark transformations have been incredibly popular. And something that you may not know if you haven't like religiously followed me since 2007 and since my past YouTube channel, which I assume most of you haven't. My most popular video on my first YouTube channel was my Musa Dark transformation video. It had over 500,000 views, and none of the videos I have made since have come anywhere near that. I still have the screenshots I made for that video, and I was looking through my archives the other day and found them. I'm actually going to show you some in this video, but they are incredibly badly made. I had a real love and hate relationship with this video. There are several different ways you can make these fan-made Dark transformations. Some people, which is the easiest way, just sort of played with the color saturation and the color effects on whatever editing software they had, and just turned the colors darker, but this would also change the character's skin color. If you were a little bit better at it, you maybe could edit only some colors, but the easiest way to do this was to basically just edit colors of the original transformations and call it a dark transformation. The other and much more time-consuming version was what Valentine Winx did, which is that they screenshotted every screenshot of the original transformation, and then they painted over it, changing the outfits a bit, but leaving the character's skin color and everything else as original, and using the original screenshots as a base and sort of drawing over them. They did this in Paint, which I think is always impressive, and I also did mine in Paint, my Dark Musa transformation. I had a real love and hate relationship with that video, because even then I could tell the thing looked awful. I mean, I'm gonna put a screenshot somewhere here. Look at it. It's terrible. It's terrible. I actually started making a Layla Dark transformation as well. I'll show you the screenshots of that as well. I never uploaded it. I never got to do the whole transformation, but I did do some, and I think that one looks slightly better, but it still doesn't look good. But the Musa transformation, I actually hated that this was my most viewed video, and I did upload some of my more popular videos when I made my new channel, but I never re-uploaded that one because I don't think it's that good. But I also never like deleted it back when I had my old channel, because it was my most viewed video by a mile. So that can tell you a little bit about how popular these Dark transformations are, that even if they're horribly made, which I can say safely that my Musa transformation was, they are still incredibly popular. There's also a third way of doing these Dark transformations yourself, which is that you fully animate it. And there is a sort of scale there of how much you use of the original material, but lots of people nowadays just fully animate their own dark versions. So all of these ways of doing the dark transformations have been done. and all of them are incredibly popular. If you make a dark transformation video, it's pretty much guaranteed to do well. So if you want clicks in the Winx fandom, that is one way to do it. We'll see how this video actually does, because I'm just talking about these transformations. So why are these dark transformations so popular? Like, I remember looking at Valentine Winx's video and thinking it was the coolest thing ever. And we actually are still friends, which is great. And I own part of that to this phenomenon of dark transformations. So I am really, really grateful for it. But what makes dark transformations so popular? So I think part of the reason why these animations are so popular is that people long to see this dark animation that we never saw in the canonical series. So they are filling this gap in the original canon in a way that, fan works generally work. That if there is a sort of gap in canon that everyone wants to see, fan works sort of aim to fill that canon. But I also think that one of the reasons dark transformations are so popular is that, especially these teen and older fans, this sort of dark aesthetic is very cool and edgy, and it creates interesting storylines, and we would like to see those interesting storylines of Winx girls growing dark and going bad. Like what would happen like for Layla? I think Layla actually like kind of goes dark in season 4 a little bit when Naboo dies, but she never gets like a dark transformation. The aesthetic of Winx Fairies is usually very cute and bright and fun, and we would like to see that difference, that contrast between their normal transformations and their dark transformations, because it is something that already exists in canon, but that isn't elaborated on as much as we would maybe like to see. I think that's one of the main reasons why this is still popular, even though this is a incredibly old storyline from 2005. But the older storylines are more popular. I think people have differing opinions on when Winx Club turned bad, but most people will say that maybe season 3 was the last good season, maybe season 4 was the last good season. I've seen people say that season 5 is the last good season. It sort of depends also on what you grew up with. I think everyone pretty much agrees that the older seasons are better. So it's not that much of a surprise that something from that a storyline from an older series is still popular. And I think this sort of appeals to this teen demographic really well as well, who still like Winx Club, but who also want to look edgy and dark and want this more like gothic and darker vibe. This is the way to do it. Fate is not the way to do it. One of the reasons why dark transformations are also so popular is that they're so popular. What I mean is that someone started making them, and someone else thought, oh, that's really cool, and people seem to like that, and I like that, so I want to do that too. And then more people made them, and more people made them, and more people made them, and they're still being made today because they are such an important part of the Winx Club fandom. So if you're a Winx Club fan and you see all these amazing dark transformations, you're gonna want to do one of them as well, because you think it's cool and there are so many of them, so it seems like an important part of a fandom. I have often experienced in fandom that I see some like really popular trope in a fandom and I don't even understand where it originally came from. And I read a lot of like fan fiction with that trope, for instance, and then I'm like, yeah, I would like to do that too, actually. I see the appeal. And I think this is what happens with Winx Club, because it's incredibly cool to play with the aesthetic and to use these characters that we love and give them a sort of darker aesthetic, because their aesthetic usually is very pretty and girly and cute. And also because it's interesting to look at these storylines of how fairies would turn dark. And you would think that in these transformation videos that isn't really a factor, but it is. If you look at Elementic Studios' new transformation videos, then they have put in a bit of a storyline or like teases to a possible storyline of how the fairies could turn dark, and people do that in some of the other transformation videos I have seen as well. I think that is pretty much everything I have to say on dark transformations. What are your opinions on dark transformation? Have you made a dark transformation Winx video? Which one is your favorite? What style of dark transformation videos would you like to See, and what kind of videos do you like? Did you ever watch my Dark Musa transformation video? Because it was quite popular, and now I've shown you screenshots of it. Tell me all about your experiences with Dark Winx Club transformations. Have you seen them? Which ones are your favorite? Are you happy that this trend is still alive? I'm happy that this trend is still alive. I think it's a really important part of Winx Club fandom. And I'm glad that it's still ongoing. Let me know if you like this video and if you'd like to see more stuff like this. Also, I do make Winx stuff semi-regularly, forever, basically. Like I said, I've been doing Winx stuff since 2007 on YouTube, so I'm probably never stopping. So if you want to see more of that, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.